Yo, what is up, you guys? So I had a video planned about a week and a half ago now where I was going to show you something similar to this right here. Something interesting, maybe some cool little landscapes as far as complete emptiness goes. So yeah, let's see what we can get. All right. So we've got F4 at 125, which shouldn't be bad. I like the vertical more than I like the horizontal because you can actually get some of that tall tree in there. Hopefully that'll come out okay. I like the tall tree, so what I was looking at was basically right here. But of course, it didn't come out nearly like I wanted it to because the photos didn't come out. So let's just say they were like a little less than perfect. So therefore, I didn't want to show that video because the photos weren't good and the clips weren't that great, so nobody would have watched it anyway. So instead, I wanted to do something like this where I get to show you some other failures, and we'll talk about generally how I deal with the ability to hate on myself, not get photos, and then move on. So I think that's something that helps out a lot of people when you're able to do that. So I'm going to give you a couple of points on how I do it. So for a bit of backstory, I actually have spent the last 2 weeks or so in North Carolina and around the Winston-Salem, Charlotte area. So that's a pretty big area, but you get the gist. So I've been taking, I think I went out 4 specific times to take some photos and get different things. 3 of which I took my film camera, that same A1 program. It's a 35 millimeter. And then the last time I went to Atlanta when I got back, and I took this guy right here, which is my digital. And I wanted to get some good photos to share with you guys and be able to put up with on different media or whatever. But for about a week, I didn't even make TikToks. I made nothing. So I was really banking on these things being able to build some content for like at least a week or so, right? But none of them came out. Nothing even was remotely okay. And it hurts in that aspect when you go out and you specifically do that thing to go get those photos and then they don't turn out. So of course I came home with absolutely nothing again, except for like this one little, it was okay. It was decent because I like threw in a little spice. If you saw that TikTok, basically, I made a black and white edit, and black and white saves so many photos because it just gives us that romance vibe. So that's a little tidbit. If you ever have a really terrible photo or one that you're just not happy with because of the color, take that color out of there because the black and white will help you out so much. But yeah, even that still didn't help it out that much. So I tried to do one where I threw in like a little like cool little spirally word thing. I don't know what you call it. Around the person, and I thought that would make it look really interesting, and my Photoshop skills aren't that great, so even that didn't really save it. So in the end, this photo still did not save me. I say that to say this: when I started back into the street photos and stuff, one of the things that I really want to work on is just getting more people in my shots. And what I was trying to do originally was like avoid people and not have them in the shots and do those architectural stuff, or do those architectural things. But then it became about getting people in the shots because people are always like the focal point for me now in photos because I want people in the shots. That's how I can express different things like size or texture or their emotion, things like that that we as other humans can relate to in photos. So being able to do that, even if the photos don't come out very good, which obviously they didn't, being able to implement that every time I shoot just makes me a little bit better. So if you take those 2 tips, one, changing it up every once in a while, shoot something else, and then on top of that, when you get back to what you're wanting to shoot or what you're going to come back to, that's when, for me, in this case, working on just the basics of the photography, more so of how I shoot than like actually composition or actually photograph making or whatever, but just the tactics at which I do to get those photos. When you do that, it absolutely will help you out, and it helped me out. So even though all of these photos came out like complete garbage, I still learned something that I think is worth sharing with you guys and helping you out when it comes to street photography. So I think this is the part where we conclude the video and I tell you the whole YouTube spiel about liking, commenting, subscribing. But for real, I really appreciate all of your input. It helps me out so much. This is a new channel and I'm always trying to put out new content. Obviously, when I start with one thing and then I move to something completely different, it takes me a little bit longer, but I'm always trying to come up with some new ideas and things for what I do that will help you out or that you'll enjoy watching. If you want to, make sure you subscribe so you can see some more of this content. If you want to, subscribe for more content, because I'm always going to make it just for you guys. And also, if you have anything you want to say, make sure you leave a comment, because I read them all and I love having comments to like reply to. If you have questions, if you have things you like, things you don't like, let me know. Let me know what you're working on. Anyway, I'm going to say peace out and I will see you in the next one. Thank you so much.